Yo, guys, we are back after a break, and I'm back here with Saucekay, which I'm going to fix
Yes.
real quick.
Yes. I am not Tupaloop. Tupaloop is a much more handsome man than me. But that's okay because, yeah,
Here we go.
that's the way it is.
Now your name is correct. You could have been Tupaloop for a moment.
Mm,
I bet they wouldn't have noticed. They may have noticed. They probably called it.
shoot.
Uh,
Now I feel like a deer in the headlights, actually.
oh no, you can't do that. You're
Casting.
I was going to say a Leaf Clan,
Leaf Clan.
Leaf City.
I do like Aurelia, so calm.
Oh, I was talking about Naruto, where your
Or
name's from.
Yeah,
Sasuke.
That's right. Okay.
Now,
okay,
not
so
Leaf, whatever.
Just FYI, not a huge fan of Naruto. I know that's blasphemous. One of my best friends in college was a huge Naruto fan, and so then I came up with the name to troll him, and then it just stuck.
Honestly, that fits your personality. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But interesting. No wonder you didn't get my reference. It's okay. Hidden Leaf Village. The chat says village, not town. Leaf Village. Sorry, guys. But
Hidden Town Leaf.
Hidden Town. Exactly.
Yes.
We don't need a troll chat though. It'll be fine. I am so excited though. Are there any decks you're excited for today? We've been talking, or you saw Kaisa versus Kaisa. Is there any really fun deck you want to see?
I mean, as somebody who's been playing a lot of Ari, I feel like it's one of those decks that's really felt like very underrepresented. I think it's a really good deck. I think it's probably at the top of like tier 1.5, you know? I think Annie probably is another one of those lists that I'm really excited to see. I think it's one of those decks that's also underappreciated. I think most of the people that have been making tier lists online have been putting like Ari, Teemo, and Annie as those just under the Kaisa and Yi lists.
Yeah.
Which I kind of tend to agree with. I do think Annie's probably at the top of that one for me. I think it might even get pushed up into that Yi Kaisa zone of just like incredible decks that have very good matchups. I think the biggest issue I have with Annie so far is when I was speaking to George last night, he kind of made a good point in that Annie kind of beats itself, and that's really just how it's felt for me. It's like Annie doesn't really have any bad matchups. Sometimes it just, you don't draw, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think purple decks also have problem with like Master Yi, more so like the deflect characters in Master Yi. But we're not seeing a lot of Master Yi right now because of the like almost like underprinting of Proving Grounds.
Yes.
So also another reason it's hard to find Annie though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, both of them are like what, like $30 just for the legend? It's
I mean,
expensive.
The Flash is like $25 on TCG Player right now.
That's
think.
it?
I mean, maybe more now. I don't know, but
they were 40 like a few days ago.
Okay, it might be 40 then. I don't check TCG Player that much. I'm gonna be honest. I just knew they were very high for. Everyone's like, why is this common? It's like, guys, it's not a real common. It's not a real common. Don't worry. Calming down. Like,
okay.
I do dad jokes. It's okay. But yeah, so we're gonna be seeing some fun games here. Hopefully in the near future. I have heard we have a really interesting matchup.
Yeah. It was spoiled to me. So just FYI, it is Set versus Yi, and I am hyped. I'm hyped. That's gonna be a good match to watch.
Yeah, it looks like they're mulliganing right now. So in a second, we'll pop it up here on screen. But I'm really excited. I think we could see some really cool games. And also, I just love Set. If I'm being honest, Set was my favorite deck pre the game coming out, even in China, like when it was like all TTS player.
Right.
TTS player. I don't really think that's how it makes
Tabletop
sense,
simulator players.
Yeah. But I loved Set. His ability on the Set leader is something I do want to point out real quick. Actually, we probably should talk about both of them because I think it'll be really important coming up. But Set, particularly, whenever if you have a character who has a buff on it, then if it dies, you can pay 1 power to bring it to your base instead, instead of letting it go to your graveyard. So this can help you keep a lot of characters on board, but I will say sometimes you fall into the trap of spending power after power after power after power after power, and then you don't have any runes to do what you want to do.
This is true. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues with Set. I think that's probably one of his most difficult things to understand is when to spend the buff and when not to. But I am a little bit interested because most of the people that are playing Set are on the orange set. The 5-drop that is a 4, but what you can consume his buff to give him +4 for the turn. really powerful card, but instead, actually, it's going to be this 4-drop set instead. He's a 4/4/5. It's got tank, and then he gets +1 for each buffed friendly unit at his battlefield. He does include himself. So if
Yeah.
he is buffed, he's actually a 7, not a 6, which has actually gotten me a couple of times. I've gotten confused by that.
Yeah, I totally see why it's confusing. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised to see it played so early. I feel like a lot of times when it comes to like the chosen champion of set, you want to. I mean, maybe it's okay for it to be played early, but you really have to play essentially like a protect the king game, where like you don't let him go to your graveyard and die.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because as soon as that happens, you like set really doesn't like losing units because it doesn't have very effective draw power. And so really the way that it gains its card advantage is by being so resilient. And just like utilizing those showstoppers in these right moments here. And then also just as a quick note here, it's interesting to see that there's an Aspirant's Climb here in game number 1, because usually the set or the Yi players just play it when they know they're going on to be on second. And it looks like that is going to be the case a little bit further here, just because I mean the set player obviously was on the play. So now this is going to be the rune turn 9, right? He's at 9 runes here. So Dead Bloom Predator is going to be one of the biggest cards here that I'm looking to see for the player.
I will say between Aspirant's Climb and already this Catalyst of Aeons, there we go. I do wonder if we're going to see more of. I mean, we could see Dead Bloom this turn as well, like you're saying. But I'm wondering if like maybe we will end up seeing a oh my gosh, what is the word? The one that when you end your turn, you get the next champion off the top of your deck.
Oh, Dazzling Aurora.
Dazzling Aurora. There we go. If we might see some Dazzling Aurora, because when you're playing like a ramp Yi list, you oftentimes don't want the Aspirant's Climb because it plays against you essentially. So be interesting to see. I do want to mention Yi while we watch him play, just so for those who are new to Riftbound. Yi is a really, really strong leader, and when you're defending, you get +2, which is actually insane.
Yeah, you don't think it's that good, and then you see it against you, and you're like, oh, how do I deal with this?
And secondly, it's not a trigger, which means like you go up, and it's like, buddy, you just have to deal with the +2. It's not like, you know, I have to, and I'm going to get +2 this turn or something.
Right. And then also one thing to note is that while it's defending against the +2, so there are ways to get around that, right? You have Kai'Sa that's very effective at getting around this kind of effect. And then also just, right, if you defend multiple times in a turn, you're not getting +2, +2, +2, +2. It's always just that static
just +2.
2, right?
For sure. We did see his Yi already come out, which I think is really interesting that he decided to play it on 7. Or as soon as he could, it looks like. He enters ready, so he's allowed to go on up into that Aspirant's Climb. It did take him a point, and he has ganking, so he, like, the set player does have to worry about him coming across. Right now, it does look like it's 9, though, on the other side, which means he can't really knock it out just yet. And now, both of them are buffed, which actually, for Fiora, is actually insane.
Right. Yeah, Fiora has this effect that when she's mighty, she gains a whole bunch of keywords. One of them, if I'm not mistaken, is also ganking. So now she herself has ganking. She also gets shield and deflect. So shield just gives her +1 stats while defending. Yi essentially gives everybody shield 2, right?
Yep, exactly. And it looks like we used challenge, I'm guessing, from that Kingpin set over to our Yi, who was, I guess, 6 from the buff, but is 7, 8 from his ability. And they deal the might to each other. So he has 6 damage on him from the Yi, but the Yi doesn't have 8 to be able to survive it.
Yep. And as we know, damage just heals after every showdown and at the end of every turn. And because Yi was tapped out, there was absolutely nothing he could do to respond to that here. So I think Collin really needs to find this Dazzling Aurora sooner rather than later, because right now this set is just drowning him in pressure. I mean, it's 5 points to 1. Yes, he has that extra point that he can utilize to take advantage of this here, just to give him that little bit of extra space here. But right now, he's in a pretty bad spot. He's only had a few cards in hand, and he just doesn't really seem to have any control of what's going on here. So Ursi, if you're the E player, how do you get out of this?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, especially with 2 on both in the battlefields. If it was just the set, he's only at 7, so I could see like a Dead Bloom Predator would be able to potentially knock it out. It looks like we are going to see that White Flame Protector, which I think is a really strong card. But the problem is he doesn't come in ready, and there's nothing on the board here to utilize with it. It does look like we end up playing another card that I think is going to ready him, if I remember correctly. It doesn't actually make me wrong on that one. I'm
Yeah.
thinking the wrong one. But he would be able to give 8 to someone. If we had something like, I think it's Confront, we could have come in ready, but we don't have that. And so even though he could have potentially attacked someone with 16 might, it's just not going to happen this turn.
Yeah. Right. I mean, he's not Aurelia, so that's kind of really the whole thing there. Right?
I don't think anyone's Irelia this set, at least.
Yes.
Not to put a double T on that and make it the set player. Sorry.
That was good, actually. I'm supposed to be ashamed, but I'm not.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So, yeah, I mean, look, the thing with this White Flame Protector, it seems like he just doesn't have any real answers right now to what's going on. And he's like, look, I just need an 8 on the board right now. I need to figure something out quick. So it looks like that is going to be the case here. So another challenge is going to take place. And because there's 3 buffs, Set himself is buffed, which means he's going to be at 9 to 8. So this challenge is even more devastating, especially because Collin still has no answer to what is going on in terms of spell interaction here. He could have potentially gone for a Defy if he had it, but because he's all tapped out here. Looks like they might be going to a game 2 here. Yeah.
That
challenge was pretty rough.
Yeah, challenge was so rough. It was the only card out that Collin had that would be able to attack the next turn. And while the Aspirant's Climb would have saved him from losing at 8 points, he still needed to take at least one side. And there was probably too much on the board to do so, especially once that White Flame went down.
Yep. So here in game number 2, I mean, obviously we're going to have to think about some sort of mulligans, but as the Yi player, what are some of the cards that you're probably wanting to be teching in here for this set lineup?
I'm not fully sure exactly what we think needs to be changed in for Set. I think Set's more of a rare champion that you're going to see in the game, right? So what do they exactly decide to do? I think it'd be interesting. I personally would want to be running a smaller Yi list here, with the more the small characters, but I don't think that's what his list is, and I'm not sure his sideboard has it. I do know in China there was a couple lists going around where they would play Aurora game 1 and then side out the Aurora pieces into that ramp Yi, and then they could trick their opponent into siding in the pieces that you would want against Dazzling Aurora. However, the set came in strong, right? What does he really want to change right now? I'm not sure.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that really at game number 2, just draw a Dazzling Aurora would be really the best start. I mean, it's just one of those situations. I feel like one of the things that a lot of these Yi players have really kind of come to the understanding of is that Dazzling Aurora can feel very inconsistent, because when you have the Dazzling Auroras, it feels really good, and then when you don't, it feels really, really bad.
Yeah, maybe I mispicked that as well. Maybe he's not the Dazzling Aurora Yi, but it did feel like a lot of his pieces were for that, even seeing that big White Flame Protector, though it is in both lists. So I'm interested to see, if it's Dazzling Aurora, can we hit Dazzling Aurora? If it's not Dazzling Aurora, can we hit some of the smaller guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me personally, when I'm going for Yi, right, I need to be able to find some sort of resilience for this set. Because, there was just so much pressure being put on early. You didn't see any showstoppers because there really wasn't any need for them there. And it just kind of felt like the Yi wasn't able to find any of its footing here. So I think in game number 2 here, I'd like to see the Yi just go for that turn 1 Catalyst of Aeons. If he's going for the Obelisk of Power line and just being on the draw. And then if he's not doing that, then just turn 1, go for that. What is it? It's not Confront. It is Mobilize. That's the name of the card. Turn 1 Mobilize into turn 2 channel Catalyst of Aeons, and then turn 3 Dazzling Aurora is really, I think, what he has to hope for here. But for me, for right now, again, I think, we're just hoping to see a game 3, and I'm interested to see if the set player swaps out just between games, and it looks like that is going to be the case. So now he's on to the yellow set, just going to be able to protect it that much better here, and it looks like that is going to be Obelisk of Power here. And then I forget the name of it, the second battlefield, but that's the one where when you conquer, you can spend a buff to draw a card.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... it's obviously always very good for Set. Set has so many buffs, so he gets to finally draw some cards off that. I'm interested to see, does this E-list have any smaller guys? It didn't seem like he did game 1, but he does. In some E-lists, we do see Pit Rookie, which does allow for a couple, mainly like sometimes like 2 buffs that could potentially deal with that. And I think the second card is Obelisk of Power, which I think, as you mentioned, starts you with an extra energy, which can be nice if you are just trying to get higher rune count.
Yep, and it looks like that Meditate is going to be fired off here, just to be able to draw a card. Looks like he didn't find any of that early ramp, so just going to be trying to find a little bit more of these early key pieces that he needs to be able to find here. So Cithria going to come down as well as a Daring Poro, so another buff going to be put on there. Just kind of doing exactly what Set needs to be doing here, just using or getting those buffs, spending those buffs as effectively as possible here, and then also on top of the fact that we have that battlefield that he can just use the Cithria to draw a card and then play another unit, get that buff right back.
Yeah, I think Cithria, though obviously Set did really well last game, right? I think Cithria is like the better 2-drop because Pit Rookie, you have to have something else to buff. But Cithria always is able to buff itself off of other characters getting played. And I think, as you said, we're going to see that draw happen, and it's going to be a really smooth time here for Challenger TCG.
Yep, so just going to be able to get his first point here, get himself that extra card. Now he's at 6 runes to start this game. He's going to be able to recycle one of them, play that set down, use that buff, going to be able to buff that Cithria right up and send it right back to the E here. And then unfortunately for this E player, a turn 2 with nothing to do feels really, really devastating here. I mean, no ramp, no early units, no draw. It just feels like this is not what you want to see if you are this E player here. So is going to be able to channel at least a couple more runes, hopefully find something a little bit sooner here, hopefully get that at least turn 4. Turn 4 Dazzling Aurora. We'll have to see if that is going to be the case, but yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I'm hoping he's not, so that he has other cards to play. But we'll have to see exactly what he decides to play here. I mean, Set is just so hyper aggro, and it seemed to work with him well game 1, so...
Yeah, I mean, Set is just Set's one of those decks that's like incredibly proactive. I mean, you're playing both of the most proactive colors in the game right now in the order and body colors. So it makes a lot of sense for me here. I think that Yi is a very interesting take because he's hyper, proactive through the body, and then incredibly defensive through the calm here. So just again, not going to be doing a single thing here. No draw, no ramp, no unit. This does not feel good here.
Yeah, that does not feel good at all. I mean, maybe there's plus side. There's no holding battlefields, but it's still not great. I'm not sure if we're...
Oh, and the sabotage to boot here. So if there is that Dazzling Aurora, it is going to go away here. Collin Etheridge is just going to be revealing the hand, showing that there's 3 Dazzling Auroras, in fact, and a Dead Bloom Predator. So
we were correct on the Dazzling Aurora call.
At least he's got the Dazzling Auroras coming in.
I think, when we said, I hope he hits Dazzling Aurora next game, I did not mean to curse him to have all 3 in his hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. So he is discarding the Defiant. Actually, he's supposed to be recycled, rather, not sent to the discard pile. So, don't know how to deal with that. We're just going to have to let them know that that's not correct. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's, anything in this game this would too much be affected by that. But honestly, that's kind of on my bingo card right now. I think a lot of players... Oh, he did do it. I think
you did call it yesterday, I think twice, actually. You'd mentioned it twice. You were like, this is going to happen.
At least once.
Listen, the first game I see a sabotage, immediately it happens. So
They fixed it, though. But
yeah, they did.
Yeah, I watched a different tournament, and it just happened every single time. And I was like... It's not really it's not hurting anyone, but it happens. So it's a new game. People are still learning. And our cycle, honestly, is a mechanic really only seen in Riftbound, as far as I've noticed.
Yes.
Lorcana doesn't have it, Pokemon doesn't have it. I don't think Magic has recycling or anything like that.
It's not a keyword, but it does have effects that put things on the bottom and sometimes on the top as well. It's a fairly common effect. It's just never had a keyword before.
Yeah, that's what I mean for Pokemon too. We have things that put it at bottom or top, but just not the keyword. I say.
So there's that Dazzling Aurora. So hopefully he's going to be able to find that Dead Bloom here. I guess he's not going to be wanting to find a Dead Bloom here just because you know that it's not going to be able to get onto any of these battlefields early on. So I guess for me, what are we trying to flip here? What's our number 1 pick for the flip?
We'll have to see. And
Volibear is a good one.
I think it'll be nice for sure, and at least we finally have a dazzling aurora going on. Just for like those who don't know what dazzling aurora is, at the end of your turn each time, you basically flip your cards until you hit a unit that you can play, and then you can play it with its effect. But we did hit that volley bear, which is a shield 3, which is kind of crazy.
He's a chonker. That's
And
what I call him.
yeah, and he's 10. 10 might. It's actually like it's insane. And then you don't have to pay that 12 and 2 power cost.
Yep, and then he also has tank, which means that even if you want to be able to clear those little units, just be able to get a little bit of breathing room,
You
you
can't.
can't. So, very big unit here. Going to be able to stick around probably for the rest of this game, I'd have to assume. And then whenever an opponent moves to a battlefield that isn't the one that he is on, you get to draw a card here, which is nice. I think it's less good than I thought it was. But, I mean, still just the stats alone from this volley bear is pretty devastating here to come off that dazzling aurora. So now it's going to be up to Challenger TCG to figure out how to be able to get these last few points in because he's 3 points away. And, I mean, this second dazzling aurora, I feel like it's just immediately going to get fired right back off. And then from there, you know, there's going to be 8s and 10s coming for the rest of this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. And we do know he has the dazzling auroras to play. Let's put it that way. That being said, Challenger is all the way up at 5 points. So all he needs is 3 more to win. So did that early aggro start, was it enough to win? That's going to be the big question.
I'm not sure yet. I mean, he is going to be able to go up to 7 here, or 6. 6. So he's close. He's 2 points away here. I mean, that's that last like little finishing push here. So it's going to be up to this control deck in the Yi player to be able to stabilize and just stave off the rest of this aggression here. The problem is that these sets are huge. They might look like 5s, but they're actually way bigger than 5. It's just because every single time you get that buff, you get to spend that buff, give him +4 stats, and then very likely just going to be able to get yourself another buff right after, right? So it's really more like a 13 or a 14 that really, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of more what he's actually at. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to utilize this set as effectively as possible. We do see a couple of call to arms in hand as well. So he does have a couple of combat tricks to be able to get over this first volley bearer. But I mean, with the second dazzling aurora probably coming down here on this next turn, it's going to be much more difficult to deal with here. So Catalyst of Aeons, probably not your pick here. Sabotage seems like a decent one. And the fact that there's 2 dazzling auroras just means that there's really no reason to pick that second dazzling aurora. So, yep, just going to send that, I think it was Sabotage to the bottom.
Yeah, I think Challenger's going to definitely want to close it before third dazzling aurora could come into play. So I can understand why they wouldn't pick that one. And I think it's really smart that he's holding these sets to the bench because while set can grow to be gigantic when he spends his buff and he can do it multiple times on his turn, it's only for this turn. And it's not a reaction speed, it's not an action speed, has to be during his turn. So he's a lot stronger attacking, even though set's pretty strong at defending. And he's going to want to use them really to finish off that 7th and 8th point and take the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Collin here is just going to be considering all of his options. Looks like he just wants to use it to get rid of that Sithria while he has the opportunity. Hopefully trying to bait the set into exhausting rather, just so that he doesn't have that second use of the set for the turn. And I think Challenger's thinking about it here. Looks like he is going to spend that buff, so set is going to be exhausted. Now, Collin, if he did draw a charm here, might be in a pretty good place because now he will be able to get rid of at least one of these sets.
It would be nice. It would definitely be really nice to do that before they can try to take those last 2 points. And for those who don't know, not Lorcana, this is Riftbound. In Riftbound, you essentially have to have you either have to hold into your 8th point or you have to have gotten a point from both sides to receive your 8th point. So they can't just be at 7, just sitting around and then take one side and it'd be the 8th point and win. They would get to draw a card, but you have to have you either get that 8th point from holding or have gotten a point from both sides to get that 8th point.
Right. And a white flame protector alongside this Deadbloom Predator. I mean, listen, I don't know how many call to arms you need to have, but there's not enough. There's not enough to deal with that Deadbloom Predator right now. That Poro is going to go away just essentially right now here. So Deadbloom Predator is going to take out that Poro while he has that opportunity. Going to be able to get himself that second point. And now with that, I just can't remember the name of that battlefield.
Obelisk of Power.
No, not Obelisk of Power.
Oh,
It's
the
like
top one.
Piranha or something like that. I can't.
It is Monastery of Harana.
Thank you. Yes. I couldn't remember the first part of it. Yeah, Monastery of Harana. So the monastery here is going to be a lot more difficult to break through, right? I mean, you have the essentially 13 plus 8, so it's 21 might you have to be able to break through, which just feels almost impossible right now. I mean, you can get those 2 sets up to 16, and then the Lee Sin goes up to 14, but then you're just kind of dumping everything here, and then you know that he's already got the Deadbloom Predator in hand as well. So if he does go in there, he can just clear out a couple of these units, right? Both of the sets are going to die to both the Volibear and the White Flame Protector as well. And really the only thing that would be left is that Lee Sin. So looks like he is considering it here, and he's going to use both of them for the Call to Arms just to be able to threaten that Deadbloom Predator. But again, that White Flame Protector is going to be buffing that Deadbloom Predator, so I'm not sure what he used to buff with the White Flame Protector, but that looks like it is going to be the trade. Oh, nope. Okay, so no, that was the White Flame Protector buffing that Deadbloom Predator. And so now he's like, wait a minute. I should not have done that. But this is a competitive tournament, so if the judge, if he does call a judge, I do believe that it is well within his right to just have him take the L because the cards were played, right? And just because you didn't realize that the buff was there does not mean that you get to take it back because this is no longer a casual environment. So, yep.
It sounds like we're hearing a judge call.
We heard the judge call. Yep, and it looks like Challenger here just doesn't want to have made the mistake, but the mistake was made, so it's going to take a couple of minutes here for that to be the case, and the judge might rule in his favor just for that, but I do believe that if this is a competitive environment, if you played the cards, then you played the cards.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they said. It does look like it's +6 from the Call of Glory, so +6 for the Poro. I'm just gonna try to calculate exactly how much he has. It is Daring Poro, but Daring Poro is assault, so he doesn't get it while defending. So it would be what
a trade if he doesn't have the White Flame
yeah,
Protector
it's
buff, but
2.
he does.
Yeah, +8, and then it would be the Poro at 10, or at 8, like you were saying, and that would technically otherwise. But chat pointed this out as well with the Dazzling Aurora, where like the Deadbloom was on the base and then got moved up, and so I'm wondering how like the judge call is going to end up going, or what they're really.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point there. I do believe that both of them resolve at the same time, that you're supposed to figure it out. So.
So let's see what the judge call actually ends up being. But I mean, if he is able to just completely block it, what do you want to see happen here? How do you think the set can finish off this game? Or do you think we have to, now that these sets don't have buffs on them?
If this mistake happens, then I just don't see how you're supposed to get yourself out of this situation here, because the Call to Arms is really just going to be that last little reach that you would need to be able to get over this White Flame Protector plus this Volibear. I don't know if he has the Kinko Monk to be able to buff both the sets, give them both that +4, and then, I don't know, maybe also a Pit Rookie to give that second, that way you don't have to also send in the Lee Sin. But, I mean, again, he has to get over 21 might. That's not an easy task.
It is a lot.
He's going to have to figure something out quick here. And if that Deadbloom Predator gets to stick here, he's going to have to figure out also how to get rid of 10 might on top of that fact. So it feels like a very daunting task, and without those Call to Arms, I feel like it's just impossible.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We did see, I think, game 1, he does have the Monk in his deck, but it'll be interesting to see if he has it in hand. We can't really see hands here. We don't have, like, hand cams or anything. So we'll have to see what exactly happens with the judges and these calls. Definitely would need a lot of buffs next turn. As you said, 21 might. Right now, with no buffs, it's, 4, 4, 8... I'm not sure how many Lee Sin is. I'm going to quickly.
Yeah, I don't know if the showdown starts before the White Flame Protector is considered a part of the battlefield, because don't they resolve? Like, yeah, it's a very confusing stack, right? Because both the Dazzling Auroras go on the stack. You flip over the Deadbloom, and then you flip over the other one, which tells me that they resolve at the same time. So it is a very confusing game state here. So I think Both of these players need to figure this out here, and then if that is the case here, and then that they have to resolve separately, then it would be that the call to arms takes out the Dead Bloom Predator. So, yeah, I think both the judges are also a little bit, I don't want to say confused because that's not necessarily an accurate statement, but it's a very nebulous board state, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's always interesting. The game just came out only, oh God, less than a month ago in North America. So players themselves are just finally getting to touch the cards in their hand and hold them in their hand. Judges are now starting to judge in person, and we'll have to see what exactly happens. But it's going to be a learning curve for everyone as we get into this new game. And
Yeah, so if he did it in that order, then it looks like the judge is actually ruling in favor of Challenger TCG here.
it's we just trying to calculate out before this. With the Lee Sin 6, we have 8 plus 1 from Cithria. We're at 15 right now on the in the base, just to think of the other battlefield as well.
Right. Yeah, also to mention, with that King Cow Monk, you do actually get to buff the Cithria, so you can potentially use the Cithria buff to call to arms one of your other units if he has the third and final call to arms in hand.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, while the sets specifically say my buff, I don't think Call of Glory does. It's any buff. It can be used as a cost.
Yes. It says, as an additional cost, you may spend a buff, as opposed to it. So chat is acting like they're judges, so I'm just going to ignore them and listen to the judge. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a pretty difficult board state to be in. I think both of these judges are referring to the rule book and everything here just to figure out how the situation would resolve itself here. It's definitely a pretty difficult board state to kind of navigate here because, again, the Dazzling Aurora is technically resolved at the same time, so you're able to choose how it goes. But he did actually place that White Flame Protector first, which would tell me that the White Flame Protector resolves and then the Dead Bloom Predator does resolve. So,
yeah, I can see that being a bit of a problem. We'll have to see exactly what they decide, though. I'm interested. I would love to know as well. But yeah, as chat reminds you, chat is always right, Saucekay. Chat is always right. You have to remember that. But yeah, so it looks like, they're still discussing it.
Yeah, they're just waiting on the judge ruling here. I think he went off to the side again, just to be able to refer to the rule book, see if there's any examples of something like this happening in the examples that they have access to. So definitely a pretty difficult board state to be able to resolve here. But if this is the case, I do tend to agree with how Challenger reacted to this. I think this is technically how it's supposed to resolve, all things considered. But as a side note, those Ari playmats, man, those look amazing.
Yeah, and actually, I'm pretty sure 20 Lore is going to be selling those Ari playmats. They're really, really, really pretty. There's Ari playmats, there's a Jinx playmat, there's a Misfortune playmat, but I do think the Ari one is my favorite. We also have some fantastic shirts here, some fantastic hoodies, which I'm currently using as a blanket because card games are always, for some reason, blasting the air conditioning, and I'm always shaking from how cold it is. Though everyone else keeps telling me, like, no, it's warm. It's not.
Yeah, I'm warm.
I'm freezing.
You know what you got to do? You got to work on your belly fat. Just eat a lot of sugar, more than you would eat normally.
I'm not working on that. I'm working on it with the opposite direction. I'm working in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Trying to get fit for some cosplays.
Okay. What's your cosplay?
I actually have an Ari cosplay. This exact art of cosplay. So we're gonna. It does look like did the judges come back? I'm not fully sure. Okay, here is, I believe, the head judge who has now appeared at the table.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very difficult ruling, and I would have to argue is a very important one because this really would, I think, in my eyes, decide the game here. Because if this Dead Bloom Predator dies, Challenger TCG has a very realistic chance to be able to win this game. Just sneak it out from under him here. But if this doesn't happen, I just legitimately do not see a way for Challenger TCG to be able to get over this here. So, Yeah, I mean, if I'm challenger, I obviously want to be able to end this in 2. I don't want to go to game 3 here. I don't want my opponent to have another turn, or to be on the draw in game number 3, especially without an obelisk to be able to accelerate me that little bit much further to make the being on the draw that much easier. So,
yeah, I mean, if Yi never saw a Dazzling Aurora game 1, has 3 Dazzling Auroras from the beginning game 2, you would assume by game 3 he would play it on curve and
yes.
only hit it on that one. So like, definitely don't want to go game 3. But that's how it works. That's how odds work.
Yes. And then whenever you play the Yi, they
you
have
do
it all.
game 1. Yeah.
They have it all. They have the turn 1, or they get to go first. They get the turn 1 mobilize into the turn 2 channel, or Catalyst of Aeons, into the turn 3 Dazzling Aurora, and then they hit Dead Bloom Predator, and then you're like, oh, cool.
Cool. And then when you play it, you're the one who never hits the Dazzling Aurora.
When you play it, you're Collin. When they play it, they're Faker.
Luckily, he doesn't play the game yet. Luckily, he doesn't play the game yet. But yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Oh man, I would actually love to see Faker play some Riftbound here. That would be cool, actually.
It's really interesting. I found that Riftbound people seem to have a lot of like opinions on Faker, even though like never experienced that before. Everyone has a lot of opinions on Faker in this game.
What do you mean? Opinion? He's the greatest player in League of Legends history. What opinion? Other than
I hear a lot of different opinions.
Some spicy takes.
Some spicy takes on it.
Okay.
But like I'm at a Pokemon event or kind of event, or hear people discussing Faker. But in Riftbound, every single tournament, every single Nexus night.
At least one Faker. I mean, listen, Riftbound has a huge League of Legends community. I feel like a lot of the League of Legends community is coming over to Riftbound just because they're such a fan of League of Legends. And then, I mean, he's just the most iconic player in League of Legends, and he just won Worlds like a couple weeks ago as well. I mean, that's his 3rd win in a row.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I actually have a fun stat about Faker, which is I think I'm never allowed to be in the same building as Faker ever again. Because at MSI Season 5, I went to the finals, and he lost his first competitive game on LeBlanc while I was breathing the same air as him.
Oh,
and therefore,
no.
I and no one else who was in the building that day, unless they had been there one of the times he'd won, is allowed to be in the building with him again. But I'm sure if I had been there at Worlds, he would have lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't go then.
Yeah. But my local thinks he's washed. I'm just going to state it. I don't know if my local's in the channel. Everyone in my local is just like, Faker's washed. If he wasn't in T1, he wouldn't win. It's all T1. That's all I hear at my local. I'll rat on them. That's what they say. That's what my local says.
Okay,
all 6
that is
of the
a pretty
locals.
spicy take. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty spicy. I mean, how do you win Worlds and are washed? Excuse me?
It's only because he's in T1?
Yeah.
Is T1 the team he's in? I don't know.
Yeah, T1.
Okay.
Listen, T1's a good team, but it's Faker who leads T1. You know what I mean? Like, he's the team captain. He's been there for almost, I think, a little over a decade now. And he's got 5 world He literally has a 50% chance to win Worlds whenever he plays a season.
We'll have to
with
see.
T1.
We'll have to see. But I'm hoping that the judge call will resolve here shortly. Just for those who are coming in a little bit late, there's a little bit of an extended judge call going on. We had 2 Dazzling Auroras that were both resolving. We're trying to figure out the resolution. Where I think White Flame appeared first, Dead Plume may have appeared second, and then Dead Bloom is up into the Obelisk of Power, going into Poro, who was 2, but we've used Call of Glory to pop both of the buffs on the set, and there's an argument about whether or not the White Flame Protector's buff is on Dead Bloom or not. So we are currently waiting to hear exactly how it's going to resolve, and I think even chat's been a little bit disagreeing as well. A lot of disagreements. We're going to see what the judges say. We had the head judge appear. Yep. We're going to hopefully resolve it here in a bit, and we'll be able to continue. But
so have you seen any of the spoilers?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Ari. I really like the Ari. She's very pretty. I like her a lot.
Well, that's not really a spoiler. That's just like a reveal.
We probably well, spoilers are when it's been officially revealed, I think.
No, I meant like, but they have like the physical cards that they were showing, and it's being like sent to people at the PAX Unplugged, right? Like that's not like a reveal. It's like that's a card that's released now. Or am I wrong?
I feel like spoilers when it's been officially like shown to people, and then leaks are when it hasn't been officially shown to people.
No, like a spoiler is like, hey, this card is coming out, and then like a reveal is like, this card came out. You know,
But it's
like
not out yet.
oh, it's not. Oh, okay. So
Because
then you're right.
it's
You're
in
okay.
Spirit Forge, but they were showing it at PAX, what it'll look like in Spirit Forge. So to me, that's a spoiler.
Okay.
To
That
me,
is
that's
a spoiler. You're right. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. Okay.
We
I
won't
thought,
talk about it. It's pretty, but we won't bring up the picture. That would be.
I thought it was a PAX Unplugged exclusive, and I was like,
Oh
my
no.
God, I wish I could be
I
there.
would have not been here if I heard that. I mean, I would have obviously, Chad. I'd still be here with you guys. But yeah, we're just waiting for the judge call to resolve. Not reserve. That's not a correct word in
Yes,
this
to
game.
reserve.
To resolve, and hopefully we'll get to see what the correct answer is. As you can see in the top left of the screen, the head judge is discussing whatever the answer is, and I'm sure we're going to be able to continue on very shortly here. That being said, I do think if it resolves correctly, as you mentioned, it's going to be interesting because they won't just have to take both battlefields. They'll only need to take the one because it'll be empty.
Yep.
And we do know that currently we have 2 sets that are 4 each. Lee Sin, that's 6, and Cythria, that's, I think, 1 at the start. So right now we are looking at 15 on board, but we need 21 to knock out the Volley Bear and the White Flame Protector.
Yep. So looks like the judge is ruling in favor of
I have no clue.
Yep. All right. This is still too nebulous for me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. It's not helpful. Like I'm trying to read his lips, and then that's not working. And then he did this thing, and I was like, he was originally pointing at the call to arms.
We'll
I was
see
like,
what
oh, maybe
happens.
that didn't work. I don't know what's going on.
When they send cards to the I don't know if it's called graveyard here. I just know they're called dead when they get knocked out.
They've been murdered.
They die. And so we'll have to see. Okay. And we'll have to see what they decide to do. Yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do.
Okay, so he's going back to the board state here.
Yeah, it looks like they're showing board state.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like the White Flame literally cannot exist while the showdown is in place. So it looks like that call to arms is actually going to work there. So yeah, it looks like the Challenger TCG was right in fact from the beginning there. So this White Flame is going to come down and probably buff the Volley Bear for the turn and just. I mean, it's really going to be at the Challenger TCG to just have King Cow Monk in hand, because if he does, then the game is just over, because the Cythria can easily take that Obelisk of Power, and because Collin is tapped out here, he's got no more runes available. It just means that there's not going to be anything further that he can do in terms of interaction here. So no way to stop this Cythria from just being able to capture, and then the double sets plus the Lee Sin, as long as he's able to buff both of these sets for the turn, will be able to overtake that Volley Bear plus that White Flame Protector.
We'll have to see if we can get some buffs to make those sets a little bit bigger. But I definitely am worried about that. Cythria just taking hold of Obelisk, and then all you need is that other one. So
yeah, I think it's strange that Set just like literally flexes his muscles, and then people are like, "Oh my god,
he's so large with that."
He's got so many muscles.
So much might. So much might.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it from a thematic standpoint. Like if I was seeing this in real life, like how do you consume a buff? Are you just like flex, like like is he just flexing? And then you're like, oh my god, he's gone Super Saiyan Set. I
have no clue.
I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah. All right, so looks like everything is finally resolved here, and it is going to be passed off to Challenger TCG. And I think that he's been a little bit distracted by what's been going on in terms of the judge call here, so he's gonna have to kind of calibrate in a sense, just to be able to find what he's looking for. And I don't quite see that King Cow Monk here. I do think I see that Showstopper in hand. Looks like. Not sure what that 2 is. Might be a challenge. So if he Showstoppers his set, he might be able to challenge that White Flame Protector away as well. And then both the Lee Sin plus the other set might be able to just take it. So, or actually, you can have set Showstopper into the Obelisk of Power. He gets the buff. Then he conquers, so he gets the buff again. then you use that buff. He goes all the way up to 12, challenge, get rid of the Volibear, and then you're able to clear the field. I think that is the play here.
Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. Could be very interesting for sure. Yeah, I mean, then you only need to do 8, which your other set can do without a buff. So.
Yep, especially paired with that Lee Sin there. So we'll have to see if that is going to be the case, if he does see that line, if he does have it available. I think that is a showstopper, that middle card there. I'm not quite sure what that is. But we do for sure see a challenge in his hand. So we know that he has the challenge.
Yeah, that's very true. And let's see. Looks like he is moving a set up that will give him a buff. So let me bring up set here for you guys. But I mean, set does get a buff from conquering. When he's played or conquered, he gets a buff, and he can spend it if he wants. He doesn't have to. But it is possible for him to spend it to get an extra +4, and that would put him at 8.
So 7 going to be the case here. So we'll have to see if he decides to use the buff here. It looks like that's not going to be the case. I think it's a first mate that's going to be coming down here, be able to ready that set right back up because now it has that buff available. And so now he can just bring it back, consume the buff, use the showstopper, consume the buff once more. And then we'll have to see if that is the showstopper. Looks like that is going to be the case. 1 is going to be tapped here, sent right down to the bottom. There's that showstopper. He's going to bring it right all the way up to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going to consume the buff, bring himself up to an additional 8.
If that's 12 now. So yeah, Cytherea got a buff as well because of the right hand being played.
Yep.
First mate, I call him right hand every time for some reason. And just like you said, that challenge is going to go across, going to put 12 onto the Volibear, and they're able to finish it off with the cards in their base. That is going to be game 2, a 2-0 by Challenger TCG.
Yeah, very well played there. I think the set player was honestly navigating that. Legitimately, it felt like the set player, at least in game number 2, had a much deeper understanding of what was going on and was just legitimately playing better. So I think the better player won. Very, very well played from Challenger TCG. I'm excited to see how he does here in the rest of this tournament because, seriously, that was very, very well navigated. He sided well. He understood the matchup well. And, I mean, it paid off.
Yeah, I absolutely love watching Set, so I would love to see him continue to do well, and I seem to see him tomorrow. Set's a really fun deck, in my opinion, even though I actually hate the art of the overnumbered Set.
Yeah.
But I do like Set a lot, so I hope that we see him succeed here.
What's your favorite overnumbered? Besides Ari, clearly.
I like the Chinese overnumbered Kaisa. And they actually look different. I'm gonna state this really quickly. There are some reason in like the overnumbered like Chinese Kaisa, you can like see her better, like her like body better because but in like the North in like the English one, she looks a lot darker and it's like you can't see her as well. So like in person, I like the Chinese overnumbered Kaisa better. The most, I think, would be what I would say. Do you have a favorite overnumbered other than Ari? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Ari Legend is by far and away
You
my
can't pick
favorite.
it though. You can't pick it.
I know. Honestly, the Teemo one looks pretty dope.
Teemo does look really nice, and Teemo has so many different, oh my god, arts now. It's got the world's art. It's got it has like a world's GG Easy is in the Nexus, but there's the world's box that has a pandas Teemo.
Yeah, but is that the Legion one? Or
It
is that
may
the
not
Teemo?
be, but I just think they're really cool
I thought that was
looking.
the actual Teemo one.
It might just be the Teemo character, but I just think he's got so many arts. He's got so many different ways to like bling out the Teemo deck, and I really do think Teemo is really, really, really strong. So
I think so too. I think the Legend is like let's just say like 3 or 4 years down the line. Hidden is going to be restricted specifically because of Teemo's effect, right? There's a lot of really powerful hidden effects that already exist. I think the most powerful one with Teemo alone is Consult the Past. It's really just 1 mana, draw 2 cards. You can't really stop it because you can use it on either side. You can always react with it. You have to wait until the next turn for it, which is like, bad, but like I don't think you really care because it's just one.
You're getting it for free once it's hidden, essentially.
Yeah. So. And yeah, I think the legend Teemo is amazing. I think that he's gonna just is the more hidden cards they print, the better he will get intrinsically. So
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it continues. I'm really excited for like the upcoming sets. They announced like the next 4 sets yesterday. So
yes.
I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more cards. There's gonna be a lot of cool different decks coming out. But for now, I would love to see. I was actually so happy to see Set. So
Yeah,
really
I mean,
cool.
I'm glad we got to see a set in round 2, especially because now it's in that 2-0 bracket. So he's in that upper bracket. He's doing well. I hope to see him tomorrow. Make it to that day 2, make it to that top 16, because there have been very like I feel like at least in the Chinese region, it felt like half of everyone was playing Kai'Sa, and then people were playing other stuff, and then like a third of that half was just Yi players,
Yeah, there was a lot of like Yi and Kai'Sa players, obviously, and then obviously later in the tournament, it was basically always like Kai'Sa versus Yi or Yi or Kai'Sa versus Kai'Sa. But I'm excited to. We saw one Teemo get. Was it top 8, top 4
There was
like
2
play,
Teemos.
and there was a top 16 Teemo as well.
There was a first place and a second place in Chengdu and Shanghai, actually, for the city.
Oh, you're talking about City League. Okay, yeah. I was
Yeah.
seeing National Open that had a 2 higher placing ones. And then yeah, so it's gonna. I think Team will be really cool to see tomorrow. I hope Annie does well. But yeah, it was even interesting. Like I think China was still like 3rd most popular was like Victor, even though then Victor did not do well going into day 2.
I'm not a huge fan of the Victor deck. I like token generation decks. I just feel like Victor doesn't have enough tools in his toolkit yet to be able to kind of do what he's supposed to be doing. I think one of the tools that might be able to help him out in that regard would be the action speed 6 cost that makes 4 recruits. Forget the name of that one.
Makes recruits.
It's like reinforcements, I want to say, or something
I wouldn't
like
be surprised. I just don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, I think there's some interesting ones for Victor.
Yeah.
And I do like Victor like as like the beginner deck or whatever it's called, the starter decks.
Mm-hmm.
They're really interesting. So I liked a lot of the starter decks. They look really cool. And I know a lot of people enjoyed like even Leona and decks like that.
Yeah, I think Leona's a lot better than people are giving her credit for. I think, again, it's just one of those cases where it's not quite enough in toolkit to be able to utilize its effect as well, especially because she's in yellow, not in orange. I think that's like my biggest gripe with it, really, because if Leona could be orange as opposed to yellow, you'd be able to use all the buff dudes, right? And she's all about buffing, but you can't really utilize the buffs as well because there's not enough stun. Like, what stuns are you using in Calm or Order besides just the 4-cost Leona?
Yeah, I hate the 4-cost Leona, like playing into her. But yeah, no, I agree. I can see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it feels like there's not enough stuns. We'll have to see if they'll add more though in the coming sets.
Yeah, no, not 2 Ts. Not 2 Ts.
Not 2 Ts, 1 T sets. But yeah, I definitely agree. It'll be interesting to see what new decks will come out as well. Or these like starter decks getting buffed with more cards, hopefully.
Yeah, so for set 2, which legend are you most excited for?
I like Irelia. I also thought, okay, was it Rek'Sai or Ornn that looked really strong? Where it's like, should I talk about abilities since I guess technically it's still spoilers?
They've been revealed. They've been revealed. Spoilers officially through PAX, so we're good. We're good.
There's one where it's like you can play a gear and use it as like
That's Ornn.
a seal. That's Ornn. I like that one as well.
Yeah, it's Kai'Sa, but for gears, not for spells.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. People are saying that there were more spoilers today, but we have not. Or maybe you got to see them earlier, but I have streamed.
I haven't had a chance.
Okay,
yet.
I haven't seen them either. But that's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, you'll get to see some between rounds. But really, really, yeah. What was your favorite?
Also, Aurelia. I mean, I'm a huge combo player, and I saw Aurelia, and I just was like. And then somebody was like, "Look at the White Flame Protector."
Her
with
signature
Aurelia.
card is also like really good.
That is gonna have to get nerfed. Listen, I know the Aurelia memes about nerf Aurelia, and like they're gonna happen. People are gonna say ban Aurelia as opposed to nerf Aurelia because you can't really nerf a card once it's been released. But like the point is,
erratas are technically could be. I'm
true.
not
That's true.
co-signing. I'm not co-signing onto the errata thing. I'm just making a statement. You technically can nerf a card.
I'm just saying you can play Yasuo on the purple Yasuo, right? The one that whenever you move 3 times.
I like that one.
Yeah, so you play him, and then the next turn he's ready, right? You go in, Probably want to use your Dreaming Tree for this one, but you attack in, you unguard, you recycle the unit or the rune that you use to play the unguard. He untaps. He has ganking, so he can move himself to the other battlefield, and then you can, I don't know, fight or flight or anything really, and then just bring it right back, and you get 3 points.
That's true.
And then
That's
you can
true.
do that again, and then you play the White Flame, and then you just literally don't need a field. Aurelia is amazing. I love her. She looks so cool. I think she's gonna get nerfed.
I think she looks really cool. There's some like cool arts, but I don't. We'll have to see how it works out. I loved Aurelia actually. I thought she was so cool.
Yeah.
But Yasuo, I saw him in the National Open, and I was like, wait, I want to make a Yasuo deck. I want to make a Yasuo deck. I haven't, but I want to. I want to so bad. I want to make a Yasuo deck so bad. It looks so much fun. Like, just like move me around the board. Really happy with it. You know, just like woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
Around the world twice.
Just keep moving her. Just keep moving him. But yeah, it looks so much fun. I think
It
Yasuo
does.
looks so much fun. Are there any like completely not thought of as good decks that you would like to see today, other than Yasuo? Because I am officially stating it. I want a Yasuo on stream.
Yasuo on stream. That's a tall order.
It is because it has to be 3-0 now. But you know, it could happen. It could if it can take 3 points in a turn, it can make 3-0.
Well, let's see. I think Lux is really one of the only other decks or legends that I've looked at where I was like, this legend has a lot of potential. I think that again, like right now, Mind in Order doesn't have quite enough in the toolkit to be able to stand with the rest of them, so to speak. But I mean, being able to use Singularity and draw a card is amazing. Being able to use Falling Comet and draw a card is amazing. Being able to play that Reinforcements card where you get four dudes. And then also draw a card is amazing. So there's a couple of pieces that Lux has that I can really see having potential. And then I think, again, it's just one of those cards that I think is going to scale with time because there's going to be more cards that get printed that are really good that cost 5 or more, right? So
yeah, I can see that.
That's where I'm at. I don't know if Lux is quite enough to, fight with the big boys, but I'd like to see Lux.
That's true. I think Miss Horton's another cool one. That's one I like as well.
Yeah.
She's very cute, and I like the Mind Splitter for some reason.
I think she gets a lot better with Lucian.
Oh, we'll have to see.
Yeah, the what is it? The Lucian unit. It's like when you play him, you can get an equipment or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to reread it. I forgot what it did, but it looked really interesting, and it seemed to pair really well with the Misfortune.
Okay.
Just being able to give him ganking. Because then you put an equipment on him, and then he goes into that one, and then you move him over. It seems like it can have some potential there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. I'm so excited. That's all I have to say. I'm so excited about the new sets.
Yeah. I think the Riftbound team seriously knocked that out of the park. When I initially had played Riftbound, I was playing it on Pixelborn, and it was very visually difficult to understand. And a lot of the rules didn't really make sense to me. So when I was playing it, it didn't really make sense what was going on, and I didn't really enjoy that. But then I went to a couple of, the Nexus nights just because my friends were like, dude, you got to play it. So I went to a couple of Nexus nights, got to have a much deeper understanding of just playing it physically, and then I just found myself going to 8 Nexus nights in 9 days.
Let's go.
So
Fantastic job.
It was really fun. It's been really fun.
Yeah, Nexus nights are so much fun. Though I will say, they're all like very late. So like I remember, I think it was like not this weekend, obviously last weekend, I was out till like 3 a.m. at a Nexus night. It was like, bro, like let's faster, please. Everyone's still learning, so all the games are very slow. But I'm just like, it was 3 a.m. But like, it's so much fun to play it, and I think that it's a great like starting one. That being said, I think we are going to be going to the BRB screen, guys. Hopefully, we're going to have a fantastic game to show you guys soon. But with that being said, we'll see you guys again with even more great gameplay.